We're here today with Rebecca, and she's a digital nomad. We're meeting here at West End City Centre, Budapest. Maybe you could introduce yourself to the audience and tell us for how long you have been in this lifestyle and what you do in life.
Okay, my name's Rebecca. What do? I do a lot of stuff. Primarily, I guess you would call me a kind of freelance marketing consultant. But so under that comes a few things. I do a lot of writing for SkyScanner. I work for BuzzFeed. I've kind of co-founded Nomadhouse now with Arthur Ute, another digital nomad. I feel funny about using the word digital nomad. And I've just started working with another startup back in Manchester. I've kind of been doing this properly since January, and prior to that I've actually been freelancing for a few years, so I think that's what made it a lot easier to go straight into I can work and travel.
And what has motivated you at the beginning to start that kind of way of life and traveling at the same time?
I actually did a year abroad in Australia when I was at university, and after that it was kind of like, I like this whole traveling thing. And then I started working for SkyScanner as well at the same time, so already I was like, okay, I can make money and I don't necessarily have to be in an office. As long as I've got the internet, I'm fine. So after that, that was pretty much it. After that I just kind of wanted to travel and continue doing this.
Okay, so you're from the UK, Manchester, you said?
Yeah, I should say that. Yeah, I'm from Manchester in the UK. It's like a northern city up there. Not many people seem to have heard of it,
Back when you started, did you had any fears or things you were expecting from that experience?
Yeah, definitely. If you're freelance already, you're kind of worried about stability to start off with, and so that's like on a professional level you're a little bit anxious about that. Then the other thing is I do travel primarily alone, so it's not really a worry anymore because I won't really be putting myself in situations where I would need to be worried, but it's something, a lot of friends and family say back home, are you sure you should be going there alone, that sort of thing. And it doesn't matter where I'm going for that, they say it for Budapest, and Budapest I think is safe.
Yeah, this is something interesting. How does your family react at the first time you told her I'm gonna do that full-time thing, like traveling, and I'm not gonna come home after 2 weeks, or it's not a vacation?
I think it was pretty gradual. So they knew that I'd gone over to Australia for the year. So after that, it was I think they knew that I was going to go away a lot. And then I just made it very gradual. So I moved back home for a bit, and then I went away again. So I think easing them into it helped, but the majority of them just think I'm taking one big holiday in all of these different cities.
Yeah, my friends too. This is not very easy to make people understand that you can.
That's what I think though, at the moment I'm getting really into kind of Snapchat and Instagram stories though, because it gives you an opportunity to say to them, look, I'm still working at 11, 12, 1 a.m. into the evening, and it's because it's a full-time thing. I see it as being way more full-time than in a traditional job where it's 9 to 5.
Sure. Yeah, most of the time you're trying to build your own business like you, so it's like a personal investment, and so you don't really count your hours or something.
Yeah.
Can you talk a bit about your the business you have and what you actually give to digital nomads?
So I guess this would be Nomadhouse. Okay. Nomadhouse is it's a co-living solution basically for digital nomads, and we do two things. We have co-living houses around the world, so we have a collection. We have one in Bali, I think we have one in Italy, Spain, and essentially if you're looking for somewhere and you want to stay somewhere, and essentially you want your nice own room, you want fast internet, somewhere to work, and kind of the biggest thing for us is a community of people who understand what you're doing, because it can be really hard if you check into a hotel and you're on your own, or if you go into a hostel and you're with people who want to stay out until God knows what hour. So we're trying to, get around that problem. And the other thing we do is retreats, which is actually what I'm in Budapest for. We're doing like a 10-day co-working retreat, staying in Therezboros. Probably butchered that name, but yeah. So we're having a retreat. There's 16 nomads joining us. It's Arthur and I who are running it, and yeah, it's going to be loads of fun. It's just like a really, really great opportunity to meet other people. It's about networking, but it's also about being able to work and see a city at the same time. And it's just, I don't know, whenever I've done them before, I've had a lot of fun on them, and I've just met really great people. So why can we continue?
And during these retreats, are you doing, or are you organizing something special, like events or a diner, or I don't know?
So as a baseline, we try and always have breakfast and dinner together, because it gives a little bit of structure to the day. Everyone can kind of catch up a bit over breakfast. Like, if you do want to go out, you can say to someone that day, like, hey, so in Bali we'd seen a ton of waterfalls that we wanted to go and see, so we were able to say that. So do you want to take the day off? Do you want to go see a waterfall? And we'd be able to grab in like a few people and make a little trip of it. But aside from that, we do demo days in-house, which is where we'll either talk about our specialism. So for me it would be like content writing or social media, and we'll do like maybe a 10-20 minute bit of a presentation on like, look, these are the little hacks that you can add into your own, not life, but kind of work life. So if I'm going to talk about social media, it can be really useful for someone who perhaps doesn't touch Twitter, whereas if a developer gets up and talks, then I'm kind of all ears, because I don't really know anything about code. So we do a lot of things like that, and we also organise stuff within the kind of co-working community. So we try and get out to co-working spaces to either do a meetup or to just have like a session there where the nomads guests is what we'd like prefer to call them, can see what it's like to actually live somewhere, what people are doing on a day-to-day basis. That's it.
So it's actually a lot of social learnings and work and productivity and fun.
Yeah, it's all of it kind of mixed in together, because that's the thing. It's about striking a balance as such.
Yeah, it sounds like a good formula or package, I'd say.
Well, we like to think so. Yeah.
No, I mean, as a digital nomad, it sounds really interesting, because it's very hard at the beginning to like connect with other nomads or to know everything about it. So it's really an opportunity. Maybe not to do it all year or do like retreats, like months retreats, but like weeks.
That's how we see it, because like it's really the thing that I could have done with like a year or two ago when I first started freelancing. And the thing was, I didn't have anyone else around me doing the same thing. So I thought, oh God, like I don't know what I do, because I have to go home and I have to get a full-time job, because that's what everyone else is doing and that's the right thing to do. And if you're kind of exposed to people who are doing the same thing, it just makes it a lot easier, and you can see that, it's all kind of normal. But
this is what happened when you're first generation of nomads or digital nomads. So
this is the thing, it's hard to figure out like whether we are, well obviously we're the first generation as such, but I feel like you must have seen it as well, there's such a trend at the moment for the term like digital nomad, remote working, and there are people who've been doing this for years and years, so you've got to wonder like what generation is it that we're in. I feel like maybe we're in the second one, and then we'll get the next wave, which will have like a bunch of new tools and tech, and that'll make it a lot easier, and a lot more people will see it as like a valid working path.
Traveling the world, what have you learned? What can you give? Like a few tips maybe to people that begin in that lifestyle.
Okay.
What would you recommend?
If you're just beginning, the biggest thing is just do it. Stop talking about it. Just go and do it. Like, everyone usually back home will say, "Oh, it's scary. You'll run out of money. You shouldn't do that." But there's literally always a way out of kind of whatever problem you're in. Usually, like touch wood, there's always a way around it. If you don't have enough money, there are places out there that solve that. Like do it that way around, and then kind of work your way into it. And if you want to work at the same time, I don't really know what to advise there because I don't by any means consider myself an expert, but it's about finding what you enjoy doing, I think, and then obviously find something that makes you money as well, and then start traveling.
Have some incomes, like
Yeah.
stabilized situation,
Yeah, or at least like, save up a little bit before you go, and then launch yourself and kind of figure out what it is that you want to do when you're wherever you want to be.
Yeah. And so, what is your best and worst memory or thing that happened to you traveling alone as a woman?
Okay. Best has to be in Bali. First time I went to Bali, it's so like eat, pray, love, but it's a really female friendly place. So to start off with, you already feel a little bit safe, and it's not something that maybe you think about as a guy, but if you go into a place and you just feel a little bit uncertain, it can really ruin the feeling of it, whereas Bali didn't have that. And then as well as that, it was the first time I was proper like solo travelling. Like I'd moved to Australia on my own, but Bali was like a bit further because it's Asia, isn't it? It's still only toe dipping into Asia, but it's not quite Australia. But yeah, Bali, best experience, just because of the great people. And then worst experience, I've not had that many bad experiences, if I'm honest. Like it's all stuff, any bad experience that I get when I travel, I probably get at home as well, which is saying something.
It's all very specific to travel.
Maybe, I think maybe I've been quite lucky because I know not everyone has like a great, easy experience with it. But I can't say from personal experience it's been too awful. So,
which is good too.
Yeah.
If you don't have bad experiences, it's okay.
No, not yet. And then, it kind of, sometimes I think it almost makes it easier to meet people if you're a girl. Because like, if it's the local community around you, then they're usually a little more, they kind of want to look after you if they see you're a female on your own. Like usually if I go into families, they'll be like, oh, we'll feed you and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, that's okay. Yeah. And then it's other stuff as well. People are like, oh, are you lost? And no, I'm not usually lost, but I just appreciate that people ask.
It's completely different when you're a guy with a backpack. You look like maybe
just look like a
weirdo,
backpacker who's lost.
So would you recommend actually to maybe women that are watching us today to travel on their own or not, or in which part of the world, or
it's in the middle, I wouldn't recommend it to everyone because it's not suited to everyone, but if you do happen to be thinking, oh, I'd really love to go travelling but no one's going with me, that's when you need to do it, because it's like, don't wait for people, just do it on your own. And like, regarding the best places to go, follow what people are saying. If people are saying that Bali is female friendly, I'd start
trust
there.
The community.
Trust what people are saying. I'm not sure about Vietnam. I think I've heard good things said about that. Same goes for, obviously there's a lot of places in Thailand, Chiang Mai, where all the digital nomads are.
The
Mecca,
holy grail of nomads.
But again, there's a reason for it. I was there this year actually, and I was shocked. It was crazy to see just so many people carrying their laptop around on their back, and you're like, oh my god, it's like, everyone's doing the same thing.
And I heard there's more and more locals that are opening like coffee shops so you can work from there. So there will be like, it will be the paradise for coffee shops, internet connection, and
they are
just
really,
a good life.
Honestly, right, this is where you should go next. Like, forget Berlin for now, go back later. But like, there's a few different places that I stayed. They were just hostels, but I kind of taken note from the way that they displayed themselves online. They were like, oh, we've got a coffee shop downstairs. So when I showed up, they had like the 5G internet. They had barista style coffee downstairs, really nice beds, and hardly anyone was staying there because I think it was brand new. I think that's where I kind of got very lucky with that. But go to Chiang Mai next.
So maybe just to end this little interview, could you tell me in the future or right now, are you more focused as a woman on your career, or are you planning to settle down at some point? Do you dream of building a family or whatever?
I don't know. It's really hard because I've been brought up with those sort of ideals, you know. Get a job, then buy a house, and get married and have kids.
Yeah,
And
it's kind of the normal plan.
Yeah.
But as you're not doing everything normal way.
I don't know. It's not that I've got rid of that plan. I still love the idea of that plan. But right now, this is what suits me and this is what's happening. So, going with the flow, seeing what happens. Maybe one day I'll have a dog.
Okay, and can you tell me where you're heading next and what are your plans in the short term?
Okay, super short term. So next 2 weeks are in Budapest, and then I've got a few days in between. I'm considering going back to Zagreb because I was actually there last month, and there's not many digital nomads there, but it's quite nomad friendly. They've got the coffee shops, they've got the fast internet, they've got a lot of Airbnbs. And then after that, there's another program I think I'm doing. It's called Destinasia, and it's in Lisbon. So I think it's like a co-working house again, and I'm doing that for a month. After that,
we'll see.
We'll see.
So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and share. I'm trying something. I never did that. But,
What's it? No. They say go in the description box. Give a thumbs up in the description box.
Thumbs up and subscribe here or here. We'll see. Thank you guys.